You know, guys, I remember there was a time when Brie Larson started shooting off her mouth and YouTubers started talking about her, and it was just like a boom. Like it was like the gold rush. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you talked about Brie Larson, your channel was gonna blow up. It was like an avalanche of subs. And I remember in my comment section, people were asking me, "Hey man, why aren't you talking about Brie Larson?" And I think I might have done maybe one video where I was giving Brie Larson some advice. But as far as going in on Brie Larson, I couldn't do it. Now you might ask, why, Mark? Why couldn't you do it? Well, the fact of the matter, right? The sad fact of the matter is that in the black community, it's commonplace that there's going to be a battle of the sexes between men and women. It's just what it is. I'm not saying who's right. I'm not saying who's wrong. So don't come for me and I won't have to put my size 15 foot up in your ass, okay? So I'm not doing that, so spare me, okay? What I'm talking about is the fact that it is commonplace that we have a battle of the sexes that goes on, right? So, why would I talk about Brie Larson when I just got through saying on the other video, you got to clean up your own house before you go someplace else, right? So I know how fucked up it is in the black community as far as us working out relationships between us as black men and women. So I was like, well, let me just leave that alone and, just kind of like focus on the fucked up dysfunction stuff that goes on here when it comes to that type of dynamic, right? That particular dynamic. So I give you an example, right? I give you the example of one Miss Thandie Newton. Yes, Thandie Newton. Why? Why does it seem like I have to do one video a year talking about how goofy Thandie Newton is? For some reason, it seems like she's always shooting off her mouth, saying something stupid. Now, let me talk about what it is that Thandie Newton said that's got me kind of, like, I got to check this chick, right? It's probably not what you're thinking. But let's get into it. This is the gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. And yes, Thandie Newton was trending over the last couple of days or so. And she was trending because for some reason, she decided that as part of her promotional tour for this movie, God's Country or something like that she's starring in, that she would have to apologize to black women everywhere. She wants to apologize to black women. And let me just read a little bit of what's going on here. It says that the movie that she's in, God's Country, is based on author James L. Burke's short story, Winter Light, but has been revamped as the lead character in the book is an older white man rather than a black woman. Oh, how about that? So they're doing a little race swapping, gender swapping thing going on here. Now, during the chat, she admitted that she considered not taking the role, as she didn't believe she was dark-skinned enough before going on to apologize to black actresses that I'm the one chosen. Well, that's weird to me, because you think if she was going to apologize to anyone, she would apologize to old white guys for taking the role that was actually envisioned to be them. You know what I mean? Instead of wondering if you're black enough, maybe you should have been wondering if you're old, white, and man enough. Maybe you want to apologize to them while you're handing out apologies, but you're not doing that, are you, Thandie Newton? No, you're not. And it goes on to say, beginning to well up, she added that she wanted to apologize every day to darker skinned actresses, to say I'm sorry, that I'm the one chosen. They chose me. Just call me Anakin. I'm the chosen one. My mama looks like you. My mama looks like you. Keep in mind, Thandie Newton is biracial. Her father is white. Her mother is black. And guys, I'm tired of talking about this on videos. Guys, I don't give a fuck. So for some reason, it seems like these Colin Kaepernick, Jesse Williams, Jussie Smollett types are always fucked up in the head. It doesn't exclusively have to do with being biracial, because I know plenty of biracial people who are cool as hell, cooler than me, but it just seems like there's this one type that these people are like I don't know, they get into show business or they get a platform or whatever, and for some reason they have some type of like identity crisis where they do goofy shit like this, you know, and they have to have the biggest mouths and everything. So it says here, she goes on to say, it's been very painful to have women look like my mom, feel like I'm not representing them, that I'm taking from them, taking their men, taking their work, taking their truth. I didn't mean to. It's just something that happened. I can't help it if I'm the chosen one. I can't help it if your men want me. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Damn right. It's better than yours. Damn right. It's better than yours. I could teach you, but I have to charge. That's basically what she's saying, guys. She can't help it. They chose her. You know what I'm saying? This is ridiculous. Keep in mind, not only is she biracial, but I believe she's been married to a white man for the better part of 30 years. So whose men are you taking, Thandi? What are you talking about? Does your man know that you're taking black women's men? Does she know this, Thandi? But Thandie Newton's in pain, okay? And you know, if that's her truth, that's her truth. God knows, like I said before, in the black community, we do have like so much dysfunction. You know, we do have a lot of self-hatred that goes on. It's not pretty. It's not everybody, but it does happen, right? So I wouldn't take that truth away from Thandie Newton, as fucking goofy as it sounds. But where she messed up with me, guys, let me get into this. Where she messed up with me is that Thandie Newton, this same Thandie Newton that is crying, trying to talk about her truth and how she can't help it that she was chosen. Chosen by who? I don't know. But she can't help that, right? And she's looking for some type of understanding and sympathy and compassion. She's asking for these things, right? That Thandie Newton is the same Thandie Newton that commented on Sean Penn's recent remarks regarding masculinity in Hollywood. Now, let's get into what Sean Penn said, shall we? And then we'll get into Thandie Newton's response to what Sean Penn said. All right, so Sean Penn says, I have these very strong women in my life who do not take masculinity as a sign of oppression towards them, he told The Independent. There are a lot of, I think, cowardly genes that lead to people surrendering their genes and putting on a skirt. Now, I am in the club that believes that men in American culture have become wildly feminized, he said. I don't see what's so controversial about that. All you have to do is look around and you see that. That's not a lie. He went on to say, I don't think that being a brute or having insensitivity or disrespect for women is anything to do with masculinity, or ever did. But I don't think that in order to be fair to women, we should become them. Okay, so basically, I guess what he's talking about are transsexuals or, you know, I don't know, cross-dressers, whatever the case may be. All right, so he's seeing that there's a problem with grown-ass men putting on women's dresses and panties and identifying as women. And look, live and let live, I always say, all right? This is not going to be an anti-transsexual video type thing, okay? It's not that. However, you would have to be blind to not see where some of these problems are coming forth when you have men who identify as women who are getting into mixed martial arts and beating the living shit out of women who were born women. You see it, guys. Men who identify as women who are competing in women's sports and whooping their ass on a consistent level, on basis. It just, there's something wrong there. All right. So what Sean Penn is saying is that, you know, if we're going to celebrate this, if we're going to celebrate masculinity sacrificing itself, or masculinity calling itself evolving into femininity, we might want to just hang back and think about what that says about our society. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on with the men where they're identifying as women? Are some of them born that way? I don't know. All right. But in a society where this is applauded and encouraged and enabled, you might want to hang back for a minute and just say, what's going on here? Okay, so that's the way I took what Sean Penn said. There's Sean Penn. I'm not talking about his politics. I'm not talking about the SJW of either one of these people. Okay, but here's what Thandie Newton had to say when she heard about what Sean Penn said. This is Thandie Newton on Twitter. Thandie Newton, the same Thandie Newton who was just asking for understanding and compassion. All right. Thandie Newton says to Sean Penn, she @s Sean Penn on Twitter. She says, Sean Penn, dude, what are you saying? Like, for real? You're a gibbering fool, motherfucker. You used to be sexy, but now you're just tragic. Men for becoming feminized. Okay, so that's what she had to say. What happened to the understanding? What happened to the compassion? I guess that only goes one way. Once again, only certain people are allowed to be victims. Maybe she thought Sean Penn might be getting some victim points there, and you can't have that. There can only be one, I guess, is what Thandie Newton is saying. So, this is what my problem is. Thandie Newton can say what she wants to say, right? She can speak her truth, but I will always have a problem with hypocrisy. There's nothing worse to me than a hypocrite. So you're asking for something from other people that you're not willing to give to somebody else. Why shouldn't Sean Penn be allowed to speak his truth and speak his opinion? I mean, it just so happens that I understand. I understand Thandie Newton's point. All right, I can't say whether it's true or not, but if that's what she's saying, that she used to get abused by darker skinned black women, well, it's not like it doesn't happen. It's like you do have issues of colorism in the black community. All right, so, okay, that's fine. But if Sean Penn is going to talk about what he sees going on with masculinity, who are you, Thandie Newton, to come in and call him a gibbering fool and call him all types of motherfuckers and all this stuff? That's hypocrisy. All right, and that, once again, is why I have to call Thandie Newton out for being a dumbass. Once again, like I said, this has got to be like my third video. Thandie Newton, I think at this point, it's just a given. You are a dumbass, okay? But anyway, guys, I just wanted to point that out before anybody out there starts feeling too sorry for Thandie Newton. Miss, don't hate me because I'm beautiful. I can't help it that I'm the one they chose. They chose me. Oh, they love me. Don't hate on me. But you want to go to Sean Penn and disrespect him all over the place. Not defending Sean Penn. I'm just saying that's your hypocrisy, Thandie Newton. But anyway, guys, you can get in the comment section and let me know. Am I off base here? Let me know what you think about all of this. As always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. Catch me on Twitter. Catch me on Rumble. Catch me on Odyssey. I'm all over the place, guys. Thank you for listening. I'll catch you on the next one. This is the gospel according to Mark with a C. Rock on. Oh, Thandie, and you came and you just was full of bullshit.